Okay, so here is your Project 3 assignment sheet. So Project 3 is the last project that you'll do for me in this class. It's your position or argument essay. This essay is a little different in that, number one, instead of analyzing a text for rhetoric used, you're going to be using rhetoric yourself in composing a text that argues or persuades for your position on an issue. The second thing that's different about this essay is that it's 1 page longer than your other 2 essays you've had to write for me. So instead of 4 complete pages, it is 5 complete pages. 1,250 words minimum. This is going to be due Friday, April the 9th by midnight on Canvas, and it is 20% of your final grade. So in Project 3, as we said, you're going to continue to build on your analysis skills by identifying an issue, analyzing that issue, and making a claim about that issue, but you're going to be joining the conversation in developing your own position about the issue. Your commentary will be framed by your main stance, but it's going to require you to name it, define it, and analyze it for causes and effects, patterns, and significance. You're going to develop your essay using evidence from at least 2 of our readings, and also from your own beliefs and experiences. So you should make sure your position essay addresses an issue, outlines your reasons for taking your chosen stance, and offers evidence to back up those reasons. So I'm going to skip down, excuse me, to the reading clusters. Your 2 reading clusters are about 2 different topics. The first topic or issue is college education. Should it be free or should it not be free? And then your reading cluster topic number 2 has to do with daylight saving time. Should it be changed? Should we have to change our clocks twice a year or not? And then what time should we go with if we stop changing our clocks twice a year? So for your cluster 1 topic, you have 3 articles. The first one is 5 reasons why free college doesn't make the grade. This one's a little longer, and it has a little bit more information as to why we shouldn't have free college. So I wanted to include 2 that talk about the pros of having free college tuition and a little bit more in-depth analysis into what that actually means. In the daylight saving time cluster, I have one article, well, there are 2 articles who talk about daylight saving is actually bad on your health. Those are articles 1 and 3, and then articles 2 and 4 take a little bit more objective stance and talk about maybe the pros of having a daylight saving time and switching. So those are your reading cluster topics. You can choose to write about either one of these issues. Now I know that a lot of you expressed interest in wanting to choose, excuse me, your own topic to write about, and here's why that's not possible for this class. Because you have 5 weeks to begin putting your rhetorical skills into your own composition, your own essay. We have 5 weeks, and it can take a good 2 weeks to come up with your own topic and do that research. So what I've done is I've already done that research for you, and I've cut down the time so that we can do all 3 projects because that's the requirement. And that's why you have to choose from these 2. So I'm sorry, I know that that's kind of a bummer for a lot of you, but don't get too upset. If you have to take Comp 2, typically you have free reign with that topic. So your next English class, if you're not taking World Lit, Comp 2, you'll have a little bit more agency in that. So heads up. Okay, coming back up, here are some questions to address in the argument essay. You're going to tell me what the issue is. You're going to talk about the claims that are being made on both sides. You're going to talk about any counter arguments that have been used. You're going to talk about underlying beliefs, values, and biases that come across on both sides. You're going to talk about the evidence or what support either side is using. And then you're going to talk about your position and why you're taking that stance on the issue. You're going to answer to me, what appeals do you want to make for your reader? What appeals do you think will be most effective to convince your reader that you're right? How will you establish a trustworthy tone that's going to convince your reader? Something to go ahead and start thinking about. And then how are you going to frame your position? What text, what articles are you going to use? You only have to use 2, but you can most certainly use more. Okay. So something you're going to be doing for me for at the end of this week and the beginning of the next week, is you're going to be reading through both of these reading clusters, and on the discussion board that goes with it, you're going to be answering these questions to go ahead and get you thinking about the text, about which position you're taking and why. So I'm not going to go into the questions right now. If you go over to the lecture videos, that's really going to go more in depth with talking through these questions and going ahead and getting your brain thinking in this direction. Instead, I'm going to skip down to putting it together. Your essay should be thesis driven. You need to integrate at least 2 sources and provide appropriate evidence to support your stance. So here are some things to keep in mind as you write. In this essay, you should clearly and accurately name the topic and identify the issue, analyze the patterns surrounding the issue, provide a clear thesis that frames your essay and reveals your stance, focus on 1 to 2 ideas, decide which points you most want to make in your thesis, and stick to developing those points. If you try to cover too much material, your essay is going to feel scattered and undeveloped. And then lastly, develop your thesis with logical reasoning and substantial evidence from the text you've chosen to synthesize. So your audience is going to be yourself, your instructor, and your classmates. Although we're all familiar with the text you've chosen, you can't assume that they have the same position as you on that topic. So you're going to want to consider where your audience is coming from and anticipate potential responses from your readers. You should also be sure to accurately represent other authors' ideas, integrate sources appropriately, and provide textual evidence in order to construct your argument. So also consider the most effective ways to organize your essay. All right, so this is the basis for Project 3. If you have any questions about this, you can email me or wait until next week and we'll talk a little bit more about it. And I'm going to switch over very quickly to your new timeline. So you, in the lecture video, I made a note that from this point on, you'll want to follow this updated timeline as opposed to anything on your syllabus because I've cut assignments down. So we are here in week 9. Make a note that these assignments are going to be due on Saturday instead of Friday because we missed a day because we missed class. So I'll make that change. You'll read through articles in cluster 1 and complete the discussion board response. And again, go to my lecture videos and I'm walking you through those discussion board responses. What's due next Tuesday? You're reading through reading cluster 2 and answering those same questions but for reading cluster 2's issue. We'll have class on Wednesday, and then what's due next Friday? So I'm going to have you watch a video, read, or skim through 2 chapters of your textbook. And then you're going to start writing for me. You're going to write 2 pages of your rough draft. Coming down to that next Tuesday, March the 29th, you'll watch a video, you'll skim a reading chapter of your textbook, and you'll write 2 more pages of your essay. We'll have class, and then that Friday, you'll turn in your rough draft. And this rough draft needs to be at least 4 pages. And I'll give you 1 page, because the final draft needs to be 5 pages. I'll give you 1 page to kind of be able to expand upon for revision. And then coming to week 12, by Tuesday, you'll complete that peer review. You'll read 2 chapters in your text and you'll watch a video, and then we'll have class on Wednesday, and then you'll turn in your final project. Like I said, we don't have much time left. Actually, after this week, you've got 3 weeks. You see that, to complete your essay. So finish strong. Let's finish strong together. Once you get that finished, I need you to look at this. We will have 1 more class meeting. That'll be April 14th. That's the last class meeting that we'll have. So it's going to be really important that you don't miss any more class meetings, because we don't have many left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 meetings left. Just 4. So coming to week 13, you'll read through the Project 4 assignment sheet. You'll read a text in your textbook, and then you'll complete the discussion board. That's just going to get you to start thinking about revision, thinking about the essay you want to revise for your final portfolio. Coming down to week 14, you'll read through the learning outcomes, and you'll sign up for one-on-one conferences. We won't have class that week, and you'll do your last discussion board post, which is just an end of semester reflection. And then week 15, we won't have class. It's exam week, and you'll turn in your final portfolio to me by April 30th by midnight. All right, so this is emailed to you along with the Project 3 assignment sheet. Don't forget to do the Project 2 decompression Google Doc. And if you have any questions, please send me an email. If not, have a great weekend. Like I said before in the lecture, get outside, get some fresh air, get some exercise, eat something green, drink some water, and I'll see you next week, okay?